you guys have spent your whole lives, careers, interviewing, asking the tough questions, really trying to understand the psyche and behaviors behind why people are motivated to do things and to make purchasing decisions, and to innovate. And so we're coming off of the biggest tech and innovation event in the world, and CES. And I'd love to ask you guys some questions and just kind of get a sense of what you think were signal versus noise, coming out of some of the top trends around the auto and mobility space from CES.
That sounds like a great plan. And I think to clarify, we have absolutely asked the tough questions about what motivates people and their decision making and stuff, but we are predominantly in the automotive space and have been automotive centric for well, not between us, for both Colin and I, probably 30 plus years, Colin, in that range at least anyway. So we've been asking questions predominantly in the US, but across the globe, and it comes to automotive. So that's where we'd like to think we have a little bit of expertise or a little bit of extra insight, shall we say.
Yeah, been doing this since the early 90s, a lot of automotive, a car person by nature, love automotive, love that we're in this space. Pretty excited to talk about it almost every day of my life to almost anybody who's willing to talk about it with me. So a lot of content, a lot of contextual information, personal research, and then sort of infused with all of the things that we hear from consumers, and bringing all that together to create perspective and a point of view. And yeah, excited to talk about what we've seen here at CES. Some new stuff, some repackaged stuff, I would say.
Absolutely.
Awesome. All right. Autonomy took center stage. EV step back, AI, I think we heard it a couple times at CES. So do you feel like there will ever be a driverless future?
The short answer for me is absolutely. I mean, I don't know when it's going to be, but Colin and I were talking just the other day. We've both done the Waymo stuff on numerous occasions, and to say that's impressive, at least to me, is an understatement. We all have autonomous elements to our cars now, and lane change assist, and your hands off the wheel, and adaptive cruise, all that stuff that's whatever of level of autonomy. But when you see it in action and it doesn't hesitate, it's like going through in a very confident way. I would say aggressive, but not aggressive in meaning any kind of negative description. It's impressive. So when the economics are right, I think it's got a great future, but it takes a lot of software and hardware to make it work like a Waymo does.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna split my answer. I'm gonna say personally in the household, no future, total noise. It's not close enough. Nobody wants a vehicle with a top hat and spinners running around as a personal vehicle. As a commercial application, I definitely think autonomous is going to proliferate significantly over the next few years. Autonomy's been around. I mean, we've gone through level 1. We're at level 2.5 now. We're trying to push for level 3, but there's a lot of consumer resistance to level 3 autonomy. It's expensive. I don't trust it in my own life. I trust it a lot of the time, but 95% trust isn't 100%. So adoption is going to take a minute. There's got to be proof of concepts for at home. And again, people aren't buying a Waymo for their home. Waymo is a totally different thing. So commercial application, I think autonomy is here and will proliferate pretty substantially in the next few years. I still think at-home autonomy, a lot of concern, a lot of people with control issues that they have to still have that vehicle control. I think it's a ways off.
Well, and also
I totally hang on.
Car lever too, right? Sorry, go ahead, Mike.
No, Colin's totally right, but that's exactly what I was saying. I mean, what I'm saying is the technology is there to give people a real comfort level because it's done really well. It's not like just some super cutting edge person that's sort of like, oh, it was okay. No, it is really good. So yes, is there a learning curve? Absolutely. Is there a comfort level? Will some people always be the pushbackers and the laggards and never maybe want it to Colin's point, in their home vehicle? Sure. But I think in the future, it will be absolutely step one, commercialized. I think Colin's spot on with that. I totally agree. I think it's going to be more in the home, eventually as well, but it's got to be an economic, an aesthetic, an element to it that makes it'll be a different world. I mean, let's face it, our kids, do they drive as much as we did? Do they
No.
want to drive as much as we did? No, they want to be taken to places. So it'll be a whole different dynamic in the future.
Yeah, 100%. I talk about that all the time because my kids are younger, 10 and 8, and I don't know if they will ever drive, but they've, Okay, EV buzz down, software up. So there wasn't actually a lot of flashy new kind of EV stories coming out of CES this year. Do you think that's a market signal or just a breather?
Go ahead, Colin.
I mean, we are in EV pause mode. I mean, there's a lot of stuff going on right now. OEMs retracting a little bit on EV investment. You look at Ford specifically. Hey guys, we're gonna retread. We were talking about Toyota the other day. Toyota's hybrid and electrification sales are through the roof. So people are doubling back, maybe regressing into hybrid as a no-fail solution. EV development, all the EV brands that have come and gone, all the EV models that have come and gone, no real step change improvement over the past number of years. I think that's limiting the EV future, the EV near-term future. Range is at this place where it's sort of always been, and no big changes have happened in the past number of years with the expectation of what EV product is doing. So I definitely think EV buzz is down. When I think of the idea of AI and software and all that changing, I don't think it's supplanting EV. I think it's in the narrative right now and everybody's talking about it.
Yeah.
I'm not sure what it does differently than what has ever been done before with software or integrating AI or integrating connected services into vehicles. I don't think that's new. I think it's repackaged.
But I think, Colin, to add to what you're saying, I agree. The whole EV side to me it used to be on like that steep curve of like, yeah, EVs are just growing exponentially, and now they're growing incrementally. At least I don't think they're going down, but
Mm,
absolutely retrenchment. The big news that I saw at CES, and actually, Colin, I'm surprised you didn't mention it because you told me about it, was Donut Lab. I mean, they talked about solid state batteries. They had that showcased, and it wasn't an EV, it was the battery itself. It was solid state. It gives you extra range. Don't worry, you don't have to worry about cold weather. It lasts like I think they said 100,000 cycles that it gives you, so it's going to last you 10 times as long as your vehicle is going to last you.
wow.
It's got all kind and charges quickly, and et cetera, and greener. Like it doesn't use rare earth materials. That to me, if that is a reality and not just a hype machine, and it seemed
Yeah.
very genuine,
Yeah.
that could be a game changer for the whole EV platform and the whole EV space.
Totally agree. I mean, if that catches on and at CES, like that, a couple of OEMs connect with Donut Lab, that's what everybody's waiting for, and that's the step change I'm talking about. That affordable battery,
Exactly.
super long range, that will change EV forever.
Because I think strategically, where EVs have been at odds with the marketplace is everyone has seen the Tesla thing and it's like, oh,
Yeah.
they're luxury vehicles and they're expensive. And, and then, we all know the Tesla Model 3 and Model Y, the least expensive ones are the ones that are selling. But
Yeah.
everyone went into the Lex mode of EVs. Everyone went into these $89,000 plus EVs. There's only so many people. They're going to buy those with their limited range. The challenges or the routines or the cadence that you have to change to adjust to an EV. And
Yeah.
that's where I think it's more retrenching, to Colin's point, than anything.
Yep. No, that makes sense. We had a Tesla, and I mean, you're buying the technology, but the car itself was not actually very nice or luxurious. So my
Nope.
husband got rid of it. Yeah. It's gone.
Yep.
All right. So there was a lot coming around, like just kind of the whole redesign, the cabin redesign. There was the folding steering wheels, kind of the living room style interiors. We've done a lot of focus groups, I know, and just a lot of conversations with clients. So do you think this kind of like whole just new design, new interiors is a real shift or just sort of conceptual noise?
I'm going to
So
say on that one, conceptual noise. I think there is an element of variety that people are going to be exposed to if the autonomous driving side proliferates. Like if you can do, we'll go back to the Waymo example, to commercialize, if you're in the Uber or Lyft version of that and saying, hey, you know what? I've got 4 people here. We can all face each other, have a conversation, a business dialogue going while we're being transported. That's one thing. Is it going to go to a personalized home-based vehicle to have a very different structure, a hugely redesigned stuff? No, but I think there's always going to be incremental improvements. There's always going to be, how could it be more spacious, more enjoyable? What kind of features can I put in a seat, around a seat, ambient lighting,
Yeah.
the smells and the noise, whether it's amplification or the noise suppression, all these things are going to get better and better over time. Is that an overhaul? No. A folding steering wheel, is that a game changer? I'm not so sure.
Believe it or not, the folding steering wheel isn't a new idea. The application to level 4 autonomy, where it goes away, gives you more
Yeah.
space, that's a different idea. The challenge is there's a whole bunch of safety regulations that go into where the steering wheel needs to be. So if you flip the steering wheel over as an example and use it as a workstation, we've heard a lot of interest in that, but the steering wheel's up. You get in an accident, that steering wheel can cut you in half. That's not good.
No.
And the airbags in the steering wheel,
Right.
the airbags there. So like, what do you do? Like, so again, to call a lot of regulation.
Yeah. So I think there's a regulatory issue to the folding steering wheel. I think there's an idea there. I don't think it's fully formed yet. So it is a little bit of noise. And it's the exact same thing with the living room setup of the vehicle. Great. You've got to re-engineer seatbelts. You have to re-engineer the entire construction of the vehicle for rollover in different points. Your pillared points change. I mean, the amount of manufacturing complexity that is required to do that is going to be a lot. I think the ideas are very interesting, and they're they're provoking what could be. But there's a manufacturing reality to some of these ideas that are going to limit how long it takes them to get to market.
I totally agree. And I love it when they push the envelope and they try funky and new, we'll call it weird stuff, because it gets people excited or interested, and then say, okay, is there a reality to it? Or to your point, Kristen, is it just noise?
Right.
And I don't think they do it noise just to be noise. They say, hey, this is a cool idea. Yeah, but does it really work with all the current, elements that come into place, regulations, manufacturing wise, safety wise, whatever.
Yeah. And I think CES is all about pushing the innovation, right? But I've been going to CES 10 plus years now, and there's a lot of innovations that have come out that actually then have come out at CES and been debuted, but then they actually haven't come out to market. So it is interesting to see, what would actually come out coming from these shows. Okay, next one, tech and auto partnerships. So big tech and OEMs are teaming up more than ever. We got chips, cloud, data layers. It's ambitious, but could also create some new risks. So tech and auto partnerships, that's not new, but do you think that's a signal of some of these bolder ones or risky dependencies?
I mean, I'm at, so what? What's the benefit to the end consumer? What's the benefit to me? That's great that you guys are partnering with people, and what do I get out of it? I mean, we look at the original Ford Sync. It was Sync powered by Microsoft. What did that get me? That got me a whole bunch of so what.
Yeah.
You've got Google Maps integrated into different vehicles. Okay, great. It's on my phone too. So what? I mean, chip manufacturing, I don't know what I get out of that. I mean, I'm trying to be the voice of the consumer here. Tell me what I get from this. What's the benefit to me? I understand the benefit to your partnership, and you get to have my data. And now you're sharing data across different platforms, and now everybody, that's your benefit. What's my benefit?
And I think what we've always said too is, and I agree with Colin's point, absolutely. I don't think it's a negative thing. It can be a so what, but if they can leverage it well, fantastic. If there's something that they can do for me as a vehicle driver or a vehicle owner, then I'm all for it. I don't mind it. I don't worry that, oh my gosh, it's in AWS, or there's, it's in Google Cloud or whatever it is, or Azure. We always said, like, the manufacturers were challenged, right? Because they would have these multimedia, systems in their vehicles, which could never in a million years keep pace with the change on your smartphone that was happening every week, every month. And that's what Tesla did really well, right? They could do those over-the-air updates, and also they had a new screen, a new interface, new feature content that people didn't have before. If that's what those partnerships allow for, I think it's got possibility, because then it provides you a benefit. And yes, I understand as a vehicle manufacturer and someone has a 10-year-old whatever, if it's just their interface, but all the sort of mechanics behind it or the tech behind it can get refreshed or get supported by a cloud or whatever and get updated, fantastic. Because I know they can't keep the hardware as up to date as it needs to be. But if they have the whatever chips are needed or whatever interface is there, and it's just a conduit for that hardware, or sorry, the software or the elements that get supported, fantastic.
All right, mobility beyond cars. So we got air taxis, logistic bots, industry fleets.
But this is literally my favorite thing ever. I want to see who the first person who jumps in the old air taxi is.
You know what's funny? My son just randomly the other day in the car goes, "Would you take a Waymo airplane, Mom?" And I go, "Who the hell would?"
Yeah. There
Listen,
has to be a lot of trust.
Yeah.
Believe it or not, we were working on a project for a startup, and it almost came to fruition, but shockingly didn't get off the ground. But it was a driverless hover
I
drone.
remember that.
It was a driverless hover drone that would come and pick you up and take you somewhere. I was like, huh. So there's nobody in it, and it shows up, and you just get in it and fly away. So, I mean,
you don't have to be a super genius not to, you see what I did there?
So, like, I think what Mike said, I love pushing the envelope, and I love the ideas. And I mean, there's some really cool stuff out there. Like, there's a bunch of watercraft, and, you know, there's a bunch of different mobility solutions that are coming out. And I do think they're super cool, and I'm into all of that. But I mean, it being real, and being in the context or the fabric of your life, I'm not sure how that's coming around. And when I think of, I live in Southern California. When I think of delivery bots, and I think of the density of where I live, how is that going to work?
Right, Arizona too.
I'm thinking of Ready Player One and how that thing delivers but the idea of these drones all over the place, I don't hate it. And speaking of Arizona, they have food delivery bots all over ASU, right?
Yeah.
Those little R2D2 things. Yeah. And I mean, super cool, but it's a very controlled environment. Right. You're on campus. And I do think there's some interesting stuff there. But I definitely think that is a lot of novelty and a lot of noise around what the future could look like according to, you know, Blade Runner and Demolition Man.
Yeah.
I agree with Colin about the personal travel side. I mean, who in the heck is going to say, yeah, hop me into some kind of hovercraft drone that's for people and get me around a city? You know, count me in as one of the not cutting edge type. I will be a laggard in that for sure. But I mean, we've talked about it. You've seen the drones around campus. You've seen it, and I've seen it in Miami where there's a CVS, like, you know, it's delivering whatever it's delivering to, you know, an apartment building or whatever. You've seen the sort of play that, you know, pizza makers have. They do it delivering pizzas by drone. I think what they call that last mile in a logistics sense is the most expensive mile, right? It's always the labor intensive, time intensive. Yes, because it's crowded streets and whatever else. If that last mile can get serviced by drones with AI interfaces and smart mechanisms that allow someone to unlock stuff when they get to their house or whatever, and blah blah blah. I think that makes a lot of sense from a logistics standpoint, handling that last mile with very efficient, very energy efficient, very non-labor intensive drone applications. But the whole mobility side of like these really funky freaky things that people can ride in, I think that's one heck of a long way off.
Yeah. I like that, the last mile. All right, we're wrapping up pretty soon. What was the most exciting kind of trend that you saw coming out of CES this year?
Solid state batteries for EV is because it's a monumental game changer for mobility in general. Because that can apply to anything that's powered, but also certainly for the vehicle space, which is what we are holding near and dear to our hearts. I think that's a huge deal. If it is indeed accurate and what they were saying is on point.
Yeah, and I'm gonna go to hype trend. I think
Okay.
AI in vehicle definitely. What's the benefit? What does it give me? What do I bring into the vehicle that I don't have on my phone? That's sort of. I don't know. I don't know what AI is delivering me in my vehicle that I don't bring into the vehicle with my phone. Unless the vehicle is going to tell me it's going to proactively explode or break down or something's going to happen.
Yeah.
I don't know what the benefit of integrating AI into my car gives me that I don't have right here.
Yeah.
And the only thing I was reading on that and seeing is that it's a better with voice commands and better, when you're telling it or and maybe you can give it quickly a conversation of, hey, I want the closest pizza place between me and my house because I'm getting something for the kid, whatever it is. Like, I mean, something like that. It was very conversational that, you still have to have almost a stilted conversation with your vehicle if you're trying to get voice commands to happen. But to Colin's point, other than that, like, I mean, what is really AI going to do in your vehicle, and is it worth whatever cost or extras it's going to be to say, hey, am I getting that little extra benefit for a lot of extra tech that's needed and required, and is it really necessary when you've got an AI device?
To me, we're already at the level of AI saturation.
Yeah.
Like everything is AI, it's always AI. And what's hilarious is if you're at CES, talk to a few of the engineers and they'll
Yeah.
tell you it's not AI. They'll tell you it's algorithmic fluency, not actual AI. So that was, I mean, I talked to a couple of guys, it had nothing to do with auto. I was like, what makes this AI? And they're like, it's not, man, it's not.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
AI is currently the catch-all
Yeah.
to, we're doing these algorithms, it's predictive, we're using modeling. That's great. Is it actually learning? No, it's still being programmed. So that's part of, I mean, my sensitivity to it. AI
Yeah.
has become the catch-all. It's become the catch-all vernacular for anything that's new and anything that's tech.
Yeah. No, that's fair for sure. All right. Anything else that we missed? Anything outside of auto? I mean, we work with clients. You guys work with clients across the board. So, is there any other kind of cool trends that you saw coming out in a different space?
I mean, the only other stuff that's kind of cool is all these humanoid robotics that they keep saying they keep making better and better and better. Now, whether that again, I have no idea the economics behind it, but when are those sort of, tools, those machines? I mean, they're made to look humanoid, but they're just robots. They're
Right.
just more mobile robots than anything, and we're not talking, Will Smith territory of taking over
iRobot?
the world. iRobot. I hope not,
Oh, goodness.
because that was a little frightening. But just when is that going to take place? When is that going to sort of get rid of mundane routine tasks that people need to do from their dexterity or mobility or whatever? And when are those machines going to take that over? And that's just sort of, again, an interesting thing. AI is all hyped up about taking over people's jobs, or
Yeah.
now people are uber more productive because they can tap into AI. What kind of physical element is going to be there as well with those kind of robots powered by AI, powered by solid state batteries with energy that's easily supplanted to them. It will be interesting anyway.
Yeah, for sure.
The thing that some of the fascinating stuff to me is, I mean, so much around healthcare,
Yes.
aging population in the U.S., a lot of Korean innovation coming out with therapeutic furniture, and I think it's super interesting.
That's because
biometric.
you're getting old as Colin. That's why. Colin's
No, but I mean,
back out moving his fridge.
Therapeutic furniture.
no, but it used to be like this is stuff for hospitals, and they're actually making it look like it belongs in a living room. So you can get into this seat. It gives you a zero gravity
Back
experience.
seat that lifts you up. No.
It takes pressure off your lower back, and it does all of this stuff. Used to be only in PT. I know you guys think this is funny, but it actually is super cool. And I think
it's got some applications for sure.
I definitely think that healthcare stuff and getting away from, being completely sedentary in your home. How does your furniture help you, with circulation, all these different healthcare things? As the population ages, I think this is going to be a bigger thing.
How does your furniture help you? That's got to be a tagline somewhere, Kristen, because that is
Yeah.
good. Is your furniture helping you? That should be the marketing pitch.
Furniture helping you.
But to build on Colin's point, just the whole medical side that everyone's getting so aware of all their Apple Watches and whatever. I have the Aura Ring now, and it's just like these simple devices that give you a boatload of information on how you're doing physically with rest and heart rates and whatever else it can provide. 'Cause I don't go as deep into as I'm sure I could, but I think there's a gajillion devices, and we're becoming so much more aware. I don't know if we're going to alter into hypochondriacs or if it's going to turn us. I mean, I don't know. It's like, hang on, I think I've got a little.
I want to know how bad I sleep every night. I know how bad I sleep every night.
That's gonna. Yeah, I'm a hard no on the Aura Ring. And
Yeah.
I don't want any wearables.
No, he just wants a sofa that rubs his back. I mean,
Man, dude, yes, I do want that.
just talk to Emily. I'm sure she'll go for it. Yeah.
Massaging seats in cars are sweet. I mean, just bring it into the home.
Exactly.
Well, thank you both so much. This was so insightful. I appreciate you taking the time.